I'm back with a couple of additional comments that I realized I didn't clarify in the first video. The first is that I have, in this particular crock pot, I put in 16 cups of water on the bottom. I have a couple of stainless steel gadgets I'm using to raise up where the screen is. So the water level inside comes up about to here, and then there's I started with about an inch gap, and then this screen I talked about that is a splatter screen is probably about at this level. And then the plant material, when I put it in before it started getting boiled, and probably has boiled down at this point, but the orange material went up to maybe about here. It was fairly close to the top, but it wasn't all the way to the top. I also didn't mention that I have in this hole that this is where on the Presto pressure cooker, where the little stem sticks up that kind of monitors the pressure of the cooker. I took the original equipment out, which left me with a hole, but it wasn't a very big hole, so I took my drill and I drilled out about a 3/8 of an inch in diameter hole, and then I have a rubber cork stuck in that. And what that is a safety relief valve, so that just in case the tubing gets clogged up, it will push this rubber stopper out. And I do know for a fact that it works, because on a previous batch of oranges that I ran, it clogged up the tubing, and the little rubber stopper, there was a loud noise which caused the rubber stopper to come out, but there was no harm done, just a little bit of water. I was using my smaller unit that I first made with the BTC program, and that I was using my stovetop for that one, and I just ended up with a little bit of water that sprayed up onto the underside of my microwave. So it did what it was supposed to do. When the pressure got too great, the cork blew out, and no harm, no foul, and I cleaned out the tubing and got back in business. Another thing I didn't mention, which is something I've devised, which I'm finding quite useful, is I have a washer that's has a 1/4 of an inch opening. And I slip that up and over my tubing, and I'm putting it so that it rests on top of my glass container, because sometimes when this hydrosol drips out, it hits perfectly, and then the drop will just bounce straight back up and out. So to cut down on losing, here and there drops of oil that are getting launched out, I've put that there, and all I need to do when I change my bottles is I just lift it, slide it back down, everything's ready to go. And as you can see, we're chugging along. There might be a little bit of oil there. It does appear I'm getting a little bit of oil, so that's good. But as I said in the first video, this is the second bottle, my second collection bottle. So the first bottle collected 6.5 cups. Looks like I have another cup right now. Based on the cedar that I distilled the other day, after about 8 cups, there's going to be very little oil produced. And the hydrosol will become weaker and weaker as far as its scent. So, trying to get my camera to focus, not focusing good. Anyway, I think I'll call it a day. I noticed earlier too in the other video that I was standing so close to the fan that you couldn't hear what I was saying, so I will turn the fan off for just a minute. So the thing I had been trying to say is that when the steam is coming down through the coils, I'm guessing it's steam down to that second coil where you can see the bubbles in the water. You can also, now that I turn the fan off, you can see that there's steam coming off the top of that water. I'm out in my garage. I don't know what the temperature is right now, maybe 70 degrees out here. So this water at the top here, this is very hot. I would not want to stick my finger in. It would be not so hot probably to burn my skin, but it'd be unpleasant. So, and I'll actually probably add a little bit of cool water to top this off here. But you can see on the coil that the bubbles go around that second ring. And then it just continues on down. There's the swedge lock bulkhead fitting. You can barely see that. I'm blocking the light. But that's the inside of it. So there, and then this is the outside of it. And right now, I don't know if this will pick up the sound, but I can hear that the pressure cooker is still boiling, even though the unit is off. So I'm gonna turn it down now because it's getting a little too hot. So I'll turn it down to 4 right now and see how that works. With this particular heating unit, it just seems to only control the amount of time that it's on and off. I'm not convinced that it has a temperature sensor in it. So I hope that's everything. I also, here's kind of an example. Here's a strainer I found, but it turned out to be too big. I measured carefully, but made a mistake. Anyways, here is a strainer I found that I wish I'd been able to use in this unit. And it's the same idea of what I was talking about, where in this case it already has the little handle here. But the one I have, I bent the handle in about like this, and the one inside my unit, the handle is here, and so it's bent from here up, not from here. And it works great. Now I put it inside and then pile the plant material on the screen. It's a little tricky to get it out in the end, but it's, you know, just a little bit messy. But it's the end product smells good on the bottom. I've been saving the bottom product too. I'm going to see how that holds up over time. I might end up using it as a colorant for the soaps, like with the cedar, because it turned out a nice reddish brown. So I'm going to be continuing on experimenting using what I'm up to here to make soaps. So that's all for now. Goodbye.